Good afternoon, all. Okay. Uh, I think some of the section 7 TC1, na, we were divided into two parts. Some of were with me in the morning during the lab, and some were not. So, since it is the first day, I will be uh, recapping those points which I have taught during the lab now also. So, let me share my screen. Okay. So let start our first theory class on Python programming. So today we will to know about something about Python. So these things I have already discussed in the first part of the class. So I would request the second part of the class who were not present in the first class. Can anyone tell me what is language? Anyone? You can type your answer in the chat box also. Anyone? Okay. So it is a way of communication between or a medium of communication between two people. Okay, medium between two persons. Yeah, Ayush, totally correct. I think uh, communicate between each other, either by speech, gesture, or writing. It can be anything. Now, what is program? Yes. So program is into a computer. Code system perform particular things. Yeah, totally correct. So it's a set of instruction which we gives to the computer to perform some specific task. Okay, like a calculator in your computer or a mobile phone. They are designed to do a perform a specific task. That is known as calculation. Now, the term comes here programming language. So, when we say programming language, what do you mean by programming language? Now to give this set of instruction to the program, sorry, to give this set of instruction to the computer, we need some language to communicate between us user and a computer. For that we need a programming language. Human computer interaction, yeah, correct. Language understand by computer. See, we can't say language understand by computer. See, mainly machine understands machine level language, low level language. That is machine code 0 and 1. So mainly we use compiler or interpreter to convert this language into a machine code. What is a machine code output? Yeah. So it is one type of formal language. It will consist of some set of strings that produce various kind of machine code output. Now, for us, it is a set of strings, but for making a computer understand what we will do, we will use them to convert them into binary code. That is machine code output. So we will use this language to implement our logics, the algorithm which we have developed, which we will use programming language to implement these algorithms and logics, and which will be later converted into machine code and be executed on a computer. Am I clear till now? Okay. Now, since Python was an elective paper, why did you all choose Python? The second section of a class. Why you have chosen Python? Why you didn't choose Android programming? Anyone? Why did you choose Python programming? You have a problem? Okay. Else, okay, no problem. So it will be each and choices why you have chosen Python. So let me discuss about Python also. What are the benefits of Python and all, in respective of other programming language. So first of all, we'll try to know the history of Python. It was developed by Guido van Rossum in 1991, and it was developed by Python Software Foundation. Now, let me say high level language. We programmer developed to focus on logic instead of the architecture or focusing on correcting the syntax and all of the program. So Python was developed mainly to reduce the grammar and syntax like in case C++, you have to write the main function each and every time. So to declare the variable, you can directly use the variable. So it was developed for those reasons only. Now, the latest version of Python is 3.9.5, and the two most famous version of Python is 2.x and 3.x. Python 3.0 came into existence in 2008, and Python 3.x was stopped in January 2020. There was a reason why Python 2.x was working till 2020, even though Python 3.0 was developed. So when Python 3.0 came into existence in 2008, uh, many problems were fixed in Python 3.0, but many industries which were working with Python 2 for setting their applications and each and everything from Python 2.x to 3.0 was a Herculean task. So what the Python Foundation did, they tried to give the update of Python 2.x also. So in 2020, the Python 2.x was stopped. Now, when I talked about why Python, here comes the features of Python. Why Python's make it more trending language in the world. Why it is being people's mainly focus Python today. So it is easy to learn. Easy to learn means very few keywords are there, simple structures are there, and clearly defined syntax are there. Okay, Python is an open source language. Can anyone tell me what is open source? You anyone can use it, available for free. Yeah, totally correct. So Python is an open source. That means anyone can use it. Anyone can use the Python language for the application. And that's means Python is open source language. Already and the Python libraries, and they are uploading in the Python community sites. So you will get a huge amount of library. Since it's a free, each and every most of the people use it, and it will be easy for us to find the libraries and all for Python. It is portable, means you can write a code in one system and can run this program on another system. Another is database. It can be easily integrated with major commercial database. So we uh, developing here, so maybe network would be there. Is it
Sir,
happening again? Yeah.
sir,
Database, talk about Python. Python can be integrated with the database. Now, just say you are having a database of some row students, like collection of student records, like past, like semester-wise marks and all. If you can just use the Python to integrate with your database, and you can use Python as an analysis tool here. You analyze the the hand or to
sir,
the program. Is it breaking yet?
sir, your voice is breaking.
Am I audible clearly? Or is still my voice is breaking?
Still breaking, sir.
Let me join the meeting once again. I think there will be some network issue. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. There is a heavy rainfall going on here, so maybe due to some network issue, there was. So we were discussing the features of Python. So another features was database. We can easily integrate Python language with a commercial database. Like when you talk about industrial point of view, and many industry, the database are being connected to with our Python language, so then you can do analysis, visualize your data, and different things. Now another feature is graphical user interface programming. That means here what you will have an option of developing a program graphical user interface for your particular program. Like I ask you to develop a simple calculator. What you can do, you can build a small logic also, like taking two number and printing the summation. Or else what you can do, you can make a graphical user interface. Person will click some buttons to enter the number and then on the summation sign and to do some calculation. Now another features of Python is scalable. Scalable means it can be easily integrated with other programming languages like C, C++, Java. So instead of using just C or Java, Python differently, you can use Python and C together also in a single language. I don't know whether you know or not this or not. There is a language known as Cython, Cython. Well, anyone? Do you know Cython? Cython is a programming language. You can integrate Python with Java to develop some or solve some logic. Now, I think you know about the Python installation and all. I think in the lab section B, I think you have gone through the Python installation. No. Okay. See, when we talk about any programming language, we need some integrated development environment. Okay, IDE to use them to develop or write our program. Now, see, you can what you can do. You can install your Python in your system. You can write a program in your notepad, save it as .py file, and run in a similar fashion like you do in a Java. But since Java was developed for a better user interface, so we will focusing on the logics and code instead of going on these things. So what we will do, use Python ideally for writing our programs in Python. So you can visit www.python.org. It consists of Python software there. Go to the download section. You can download the latest version of your of Python as per your operating system. Like if you want for Mac, you can download for Mac. Linux, you can download for Linux, and you can install it. Now when you install it, this is the view of Python IDLE. It is not an IDLE cell. Here the version of Python will be written here. And since Python is an interpreter, in Python we use interpreter to translate the Python code into machine code. So each instead of translating the whole program at a once, like as a case of compiler, here it will be done line by line. Okay. So what is the benefit of Python here? You can write a simple single line of code and you can run here also. So in case of C, C++ or Java, you have to write a whole bunch of code. Like main, you have to write a main function. You have to declare a variable. Declare a variable and then initialize it and use it. But in case of Python, if you don't want to directly deep dive into the program, you can use the interpreter to solve the small problem also. Now you can customize your IDLE depending upon your choices, like this one. You can have fonts, color, background of the IDLE. You can open IDLE and start exploring it. Okay. Now for writing a whole new program, what you can do, you can click on file and then new. When you click it, this type of file will open here. Okay. Now you can write your program here, save the file and then run the file. This is a way of running a whole bunch of code at a single time. Now see, this is a simple first program in Python. Now I open a IDLE, created a file new. Here I have written print, hello all, welcome to our first class in Python. Now you can save the program and you can run the program. When you run your program, this will be the output of the program. So if you see here, like in the case of C, even on C++, you have to write a bunch of code like int main, declare int main, open braces, return 0, and many things. Now, but in the Python, you have just written a single line of code to print a simple statement here, and you have to run it. Am I clear here? Am I clear till now? Okay, Ayush. Okay. Till I think till this part I have explained in the lab also. So now we'll be going on the theory part of the program now. Now, so just like C, C++, Java, we are using. There are some rules, ground set of rules which we'll be using here to identify to declare an identifier. So what is identifier? It is mainly used to identify a variable or a function of class, module, or other objects. So what we'll do, we will be using some naming convention, names to identify this variable, then functions, then class. Now there are some rules how to name this variable. Are we going to start with alphabets or numbers, or we can start with a number also, or some symbols? So these are the rules. So here comes the rule. So it should start with a letters, alphabets. So from either capital A to Z or small a to Z. Okay. Or it can also start with an underscore followed by a 0 or more letters. So you can just underscore and you have to give some alphabets or something. And you can also use number 0 to 9 in between the identifier, but you can't start an identifier with a number. Now punctuation characters like @ dollar and percentage are not allowed in an identifier. You can't use these punctuation mark or symbols in a Python identifier. Now Python is a case sensitive language. So what do you mean by case sensitive language? Anyone? Anyone? What is case sensitive language? Factors will also count. Yeah. So uppercase and lowercase will be treated differently. Okay. Now see, here I have written a two name data. In a small letter, one with some capital, small and capital mix, and totally capital. So in case of Python, these are different identifier. That means different identifier means that they will be treated differently. So if you assign some variable 5 to data, so when you are using data, you can't use this capital DAT here. So it will the interpreter will say variable not initialized. Okay, so these two variable will be treated differently in case of Python language. Yeah, Monica, totally correct. No, here are some valid and invalid identifier. Like start with a variable name, some alphabets var1, underscore var1, underscore one underscore var1, no problem, var underscore one. Okay, so these are some valid identifier. Now what are invalid identifier? Like using a symbol here, exclamatory mark, starting with a number. Even though you're using underscore but you are starting with a number, again it is wrong. Using symbol between the variable or identifier is totally wrong here. So you have to follow the rules, like you have to start from either capital A to Z or small a to Z. You can start with an underscore, no problem, but after underscore it should be followed by number or alphabets. Now reserve keywords. See, for each and every programming language, some keywords are reserved for the special use. So in the case of Python also, we have some reserved keyword, okay, which we can't use as an identifier. So we can't use them as in a variable name and all, or in the name of function or label. It is reserved from use, means you can't use it. Like say if some, let me tell you some keywords like for. You can't use the variable name for, for. And each and every Python keywords are in lowercase. So some of the reserved keywords I am showing you next slide. These are the keywords in Python, like and, or, from, continue, try, is. There are the, some of the keywords shown here. So they are mainly in a small case. So you can, if you want to use in your program, you can change the use the uppercase letter to use it. But mostly we don't use the reserved keywords in the uppercase form in our program. Am I clear here? Okay. Now, when we talk of, see, you have all have studied C, C++, and Java. So in C or C++, Java, you have curly braces and all during your program. So what is these are not indentation. Okay. So when you are using a in your C or C++, you use curly braces to indicate the block of codes or functions, loops, or flow of control. Like if you are starting a for loop or a while loop, what you do, you after writing an initialization of a for loop or while loop, you place in open use a open curly braces, from there, then close curly braces. But in case of Python, there is no such curly braces here to indicate the indentation block of codes in the Python. So we use space and tab in the case of Python as in to indicate the block of codes. And now these indentation are very much important in Python program. So if you somehow you miss this indentation or mix up or somehow you misses them, so it will show you an error like missing indentation. Now see, Python uses indentation to indicate a block of code. Now we can use either tab or space for making an indentation. So you can use the space also, or else you can use tabs. Now it's totally upon you how much number of tabs or spaces you want in between your program. So for your indentation of a program, it's totally depend upon you. It's not a fixed choice. You can change. It will change from programmer to programmer. Like if you see here, a simple. I have tried to show the indentation of in Python. Here, simple logic is there. If true, else print false. Okay. Now, if you say, see, after if true, we have used. I have used a tab here. So when I use tab here, you have to use tab here also. The indentation should be same for all level of codes in the program. Now, if it is if true, now again put I will use a single space here, print true, else then again single space, print false. In the third case, if true, I have used more than one spaces here, print true, else same number of space here, print false. But here in this part of the program, what I have done in the first part, after if true, I have used a tab, print true, else space, print false. So in this case, it will show an error. For the same level of program, you have to use the same indentation. Here, if you are using a tab, you have to use the tab here also. If you are using a space here, you have to use a space here also. Now in this case, if true, I have used more than one space here, but here I have used a single space here. Now again, it will show an error because same number of spaces are not used or tabs are not used. Here, instead of using any space, I have removed the single space also. So to show the level of program, see if true, after true, if logic, there should be some block of codes here. It should be under some. So here indentation is very much important. But in this part of the program, I haven't used any indentation, so it will generate an error. So it's upon you either to use tab or space, but people generally prefer tabs, okay, to maintain the indentation in Python. Is it clear here? Okay. Anyone, any doubt? Okay. So let me show you a simple program in a Python. Let me open an IDLE. When you install a Python IDLE, you can search in your setup in a start bar. Open it. Now, this window will open. Now, when I say interpreter means you can do here also some logics also like 9 plus 7. Okay. So instead of writing a whole line of code to add two numbers, like when you say in a C program, I say just write a simple C program to add two number. You will say, okay, I will take A equal to 5, B equal to 7, then A plus B. Now, in case of C++, for writing these 3 lines of code, you will need to write a many numbers of codes like declaring variable first of all, assigning variables, and writing the main function, defining some libraries in the starting like has include. So, but these types of line you don't have to do in the case of Python. Like even I say like students just write a program to add two number. What you can do? Just A equal to 7, B equal to 5, and a print A plus B. Now I have to save it. File save is. I have saved it in the program. A value or output will be shown here. Every time you run the program, the cell will be started again and again. See, cell has been started, restarted the cell, and then it has been run the program. Okay. So you can directly do these things in the interpreter also, like take your time in the, home, explore this thing like 9 into 3. You can see the calculation. To declare a string, what we use single quote like a equal to apple. Now you can what you can do, print a plus a. In case of Python, when you use a plus sign between the two strings, it will be work as a concatenation operator. Now see, a into a multiply generate only with the integer types. Now a into 3, what do you think? It will give an error or some output will be there? Anyone? It will generate error. A is a variable storing a string and multiplied by 3. Chintan, yeah, okay. Anyone else? Section B, what do you think will be the output? APL, okay. You can guess. I'm just asking for your guess. I'm not asking a correct answer from you all. So even as you can say, if even you think it is a wrong answer, no problem. Error, okay. Anyone else like to try? Type error, okay. So hers, see, type error would have been a problem in other programming language like A is a string type where 3 is a numerical value. But in case of Python, when you're multiplying a string with a number, it will print the number you're multiplying that number of times. Like you're multiplying with 3, so apple will return 3 times. Apple, apple, apple. Yeah, Siri, totally correct. So in case of Python, these are the hands-on which gives you a freedom to do the task in the interpreter only. So instead of writing a whole bunch of code to try these lines, what we can do, we can directly write in the interpreter. Star, I think it is plus. First, I didn't get you. Okay, no problem. I think it's done. Okay. So any doubt till now? No, sir. Okay. So like this, you can explore the Python ideally here. Just try explore it. You can do anything here like multiplying, addition. Try these things like instead of running a whole writing a whole code in a program, you can write a part of program here to see whether you're getting expected output or no. So see when you are developing some applications or writing 100 lines of codes. So what happens that in case of C or C++, you have to check the run the whole program, and so if there is a compilation error, you have to go back, change those errors, then run the program. if you're not getting an expected output, you will see an output of each and every variable at each and every steps, what you are getting, what you're done, what is wrong or logic, where the logic is wrong in the program. But in case of Python, what you can do, you will write 100 lines of code. So what you will do, after writing 5 lines of code or 10 lines of code, you will run the program and check, okay, I'm getting a correct output or not, going in a correct direction or not. Then after that, you will write another part of the code. So in this way, the Python gives you a freedom to check the code again in a part by. Okay. So when we say ideally, when you're using ideally to write a program, so again, the problem which we are facing in C or C++ will come in here. So if you're writing a program like this, just say a equal to 5, equal to 7, print into B. Now, when you run this code here, now see, if in case of ideally also, it's totally when you're running the whole program, the interpreter will be generating an error in a particular line of code. So somehow you will say, sir, in the case of C or C++, like let me show you. In the case of C and C++ also, we were facing the same things. Like, so it will while you are saving the problem also, it will show you some error and all. So what happens here that here also you're running the whole bunch of code at the same time. Now, what if you want to run a code part by part? So for that, there are other idealies also present in the market, like PyCharm, Spider, Jupyter. This allows you to run the single code of the program. Sorry, the part of a code. Uh, uh, Instead of running the whole code at a time, what you can do, you will select a part of the code and run it. So if you're writing 100 numbers of lines of code, and some output of a first 10 lines is going to be used at the another part of the program. So if you're getting wrong answer in the first part of the program only, so you will getting the wrong answer in the second part also. So but when you're using an ideally Python, Jupyter, or Spider, or say PyCharm, there you will be able to run the program part by part. Yes, let me show you here. You get an output here, and let me show you in the case of Spider. Spider is a part of Anaconda. There you will it is mainly used for data science and machine learning. So when you are jumping into data science or machine learning, instead of using a Python ideally, what you will do, you will be using Spider or Jupyter to run your code. These are totally a heavy software, so it will take some time to load. Let me show you an example there also. Even you can use Google Colab for running a Python program. It's free of cost and it provides you GPU and all. So you can use the Google Colab also to, instead of installing a software in a system, you can use them to write a code. Now this is an spider which I generally use for programming. Like, let me show you the same line of code. And what you can do, run a part by part of the code. You can explore the variable here. What is the current value of the variable? Run the code again part by part. See the changes here, and finally run the code. Also, you can directly run the code at once also in the same way in Python. Ideally, save your file and run the program. But this Spider or Jupyter, mainly Spider gives you an opportunity to view your data variables in a variable explorer here. So this will help you when you're writing a large number of codes, like when you're having a hundreds or 200 numbers lines of code, you'll be defining some functions and all. So how the variables are changing, you can see here part by part. Am I clear? Am I clear all? Anyone, any doubt till now?
Sir,
Yeah,
सर
this one.
इसमें क्या सॉफ्टवेयर यूज करना है पाइथन में?
See, for Python, you can use, see, if you're, see, and when you say, I was talking about Spider or Jupyter, those are heavy softwares. It needs a high functionality computer. The requirement of the system is high, like you need a i5 processor and all. If your system is old one, what you can do, you can go for an online Google Colab. Google Colab is a online portal given by Google to write a program there. Or else you can use Python ideally, or a simple one. Just download the Python ideally. It is of 3 or 4 MB, and you can run the program.
ओके
Okay.
सर. ओके सर.
Anyone? Any else doubt? Anyone? Anyone? Anything else? Let me take the attendance now. You may write your enrollment number in the chat box, and also I've downloaded the number of student in the class. I will share the attendance list with any one of you. Please share it with each of you. You can check your attendance on that particular site. Sorry, particular Google Sheet. Thank you all. You may leave the class now if you have written the attendance.